including Governor Mike DeWine, calling for his resignation. Now, some are also calling for the bill at the center of this scandal to be repealed. NBC4's Adrienne Robbins joining us now live with a bipartisan effort to end House Bill 6. Adrienne.
Darlene, within this 80-page affidavit are shocking allegations against House Speaker Larry Householder and his rise to power here at the State House. But at the center of the $60 million bribery scheme is another document, House Bill 6.
What is likely the largest bribery money laundering scheme ever perpetrated against the people of the state of Ohio.
Federal officials allege that House Speaker Larry Householder and 4 of his associates engineered a multi-million-dollar bribery scheme funded by Company A. The $60 million bribe allegedly bought House Bill 6, or as it was titled, Ohio Clean Air Program.
House Bill 6 at its heart, it was just it is one of the most backwards facing and regressive pieces of energy legislation in the country.
The controversial bill narrowly passed the House and was signed by Governor Mike DeWine in July of 2019. It would provide more than $1 billion in subsidies to FirstEnergy nuclear power plants over a number of years. Footing that bill, Ohio electricity customers.
A bailout to 2 failing nuclear power plants that were bankrupt.
Now there's a movement at the State House to not only see Householder resign, but to repeal the legislation that could lead to him being behind bars. A bill is being introduced in the Senate and the House to end House Bill 6. Both have bipartisan support.
We need to send a signal to the people of the state of Ohio that when you engage in this kind of corrupt activity, you're not going to be rewarded for it.
But bipartisan or not, today when asked if Governor DeWine would support this repeal, his answer was no.
What was going on in that campaign and what, the very, very sad story that we all read yesterday does not impact where I am in regard to the policy of it.
So change could obviously happen slowly. Larry Householder is still the Speaker of the House here, and they're not scheduled to be back in session until mid-September. At the same time, Senate President Larry Obhoff, when asked about House Bill 6, said that he had to look at it very closely. Local view at the State House, I'm Adrienne Robbins, NBC4.